Hi, I am Stacey Owens Howard, and I am the founder of Zeka School of Arts and Technology, small charter school in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Wanted to check in today and just take a moment to talk about how this school year I was able to beat the research. So I started the school year off with a very toxic school environment. And conventional research will tell you that when your school culture is toxic, it indicates or it comes with a cost. It costs you money when you have a toxic environment. The researchers say that for every lost employee, it costs the organization 150 percent of that person's salary. So when you think about it, when you invest in the salaries, the benefits, the training that you invest in your staff, and then you end up having to terminate or a person leave, then they take with them the training resources that you were able to provide, as well as the salaries and so forth that you've given them. And so it ended up costing your organization 100% more than what you had budgeted for them. What I found, how I was able to beat that, is I started the year off with some highly qualified teachers. They were highly qualified, licensed, had been teaching for 5 years or more, but they weren't unhealthy. And so the investment that I made with my training program, I was pouring a lot of information into them. But what I found is that they wasn't taking that pour and being productive with it. They wasn't giving back what was given to them. So the information was becoming useless. And what it was creating in the rest of the environment is for the ones who really was taking the information and want to do better and do with it, they lost the motivation to do it. So I started terminating toxic folks. I had to determine if your situation could be terminated or if it could be neutralized. And I ended up terminating 9 folks. And I actually saved money because as I terminated these toxic behaviors and I started talking to the remaining of the staff that remained with me about how to be productive and the expectations of what we were wanting through our training program, my replacement folks that came to me were highly qualified, licensed, had not been teaching as many years, but they were healthy enough to where they quickly absorbed the materials that was given to them and the lessons that was given to them. They wanted to make a difference in the lives of children, so they came in and they were more productive with less salary expenses, and I began to get more out of them than what I was pouring into them. And so I actually saved by just terminating and not letting those issues stay to the end of the year. The other thing that research talks about when you have a toxic environment is how you can lose credibility. When you start removing people, you can lose credibility with folks. And how I was able to beat that odd was because it made the remaining staff a little bit on edge because they saw so many people having to be removed. But the relationship that came from that is that we started having one-to-one conversations and we started talking about, what's the expectation for you? How can what do I need to do so that I can make sure that I'm giving the most and being the most productive, person? Because at the end of the day, it's all about production. It's all about, are you meeting the goals? Are you taking in what we want you to do to work towards the vision, and are you putting out what needs to be put out to get to that end result? And so credibility wasn't lost because our relationships got a lot stronger, and as the healthier folks came in and they started doing things, it encouraged the folks that were here prior to jump on board and start doing things as well. Same thing with our parents. I had to go out and have a parent meeting. And once I met with my parents and I told them my expectations, I told them the risk that I was taking and that their kids deserve the absolute best. I'm a school with 1 grade per class. So I have to have the greatest in each one of my classrooms. I can't have mediocre or poor because it will hurt our students. Once I started building those relationships with parents, the loss or the improvement of the toxic environments increase our credibility with each other. So I didn't lose credibility with my staff or with my parents because I made sure that I kept them very informed of the process as we was going through with it. A toxic environment can make you lose time. One of my greatest lessons is that I had to learn to not only value my time, but to protect my time. And so, once you get rid of the toxics, then you're not wasting all your time dealing with a person or a situation that's not going to produce what you need and what you are striving for in your mission. So it was a good year. At the end of the year, I ended up meeting my goals that I needed to meet, and I just want to take a moment and share how we were able to beat the odds against research. Thank you.